The Rebel Capitalist Show.
Well, hey, I've really enjoyed your podcast recently. I'm listening to every episode I can. And I just actually wrote down some things that you've referenced in some of your past videos and podcast episodes that I'd love for you to address with my crowd in case they missed it. And the one thing is the nuanced difference between consumer behavior, between deflation and inflation. You know, the Keynesians want us to believe that if there's any deflation, then everyone will completely stop buying everything. They won't buy gas, they won't buy health insurance, they won't pay their rent until, you know, they see the prices settling because they want to get a better deal. But you point out how that's complete nonsense. But then you also point out how inflation might get people to start buying more often because there's so like have an opposite effect. Can you explain that?
Yeah, well, first of all, when consumers expect prices to fall, what they don't do is buy things in advance of actually needing them. And the same is true with businesses and whether or not they want to carry big inventories, right? If you're a businessman and you think the price of the goods that you're buying is likely to be lower in the future than today, then why would you want to hold a bunch of inventory? Because the inventory is going to be losing value while it's in your possession. You might as well wait until the future when you actually think you're going to need the inventory to sell. And that's kind of how this just-in-time inventory really got popular, because there was no real pressure on companies to invest in a lot of inventory if they knew they could just buy it when they needed at the same price or lower. But consumers buy things when they need them. So, for example, you know, if I need a new cell phone today, because my cell phone, maybe the screen is cracked or, you know, it's just not working well, even though I think that if I wait another 6 months or another year, it could be 20 bucks cheaper, am I really going to suffer through that year to try to save those 20 bucks? Or am I going to assign a value to having the new phone today, right, and not having to suffer through, you know, my cracked screen for another year? So I'm just going to buy. You know, and the proof that falling prices don't deter people from buying things that they want is consumer electronics. Televisions, computers, cell phones. Everybody knows if they just wait, they'll be able to buy it cheaper. But you don't want to wait. You want it now. You want to use it. And so the only thing that you won't buy if you expect prices to fall is stuff that you don't really need. So I'm not going to stock up on, you know, the toothpaste that I think I might need in a year. I mean, I'll just buy that when I need it. I mean, because I mean, what's the point? There's only so much room in my medicine cabinet for these types of things. But what changes when consumers expect prices to rise is they start to stock up on things that they don't really need today, but they know they're going to need in the future. But rather than waiting for the future and then buying those items at a higher price, if they have some extra cash, they might as well buy them now rather than wait until they're more expensive. So you will start to see this psychology changing where when people go to the store, they don't just buy what they need for the week or what they need for the month. They're going to buy what they need for the year.
Right.
You know, and not only if they expect the price to go up, but what if they're worried that there may not be a big supply of the particular items that they want? You might as well stock up on those things now, because not only may the prices be higher in the future, there may not be any inventory in the future because other people start hoarding those goods because they expect the price to be higher. So it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But the same thing with companies. Now companies see the raw materials that they need or their inventory,
lumber,
progressively getting higher and higher. So now the businesses know, I better stock up on my inventory now. I just can't wait because everything keeps getting more and more expensive. So instead of holding cash, I'm going to hold products, merchandise. And so now everybody wants to start buying stuff and getting rid of their paper. And then that's when the velocity of the money really picks up and you really start to see prices spiraling out of control.
Yeah, and we're seeing that with used car prices. We're seeing that with what I've noticed when you look at the detail of the CPI, is stuff that people buy daily. That's really going up. Stuff that people buy maybe once every 6 months, like clothing or like an airline ticket, that's going down. But the stuff that people buy daily, that's where we're really seeing those big price increases.